Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello. Radis, good to see you in the chat. You were first. Hey, yeah. And of course, we got Sam. Haveen, hello. Moonraid, good to see you. And Tom, hello. How's everybody doing this morning? This beautiful Thursday morning. I woke up today and it was like 39 degrees out. I'm not sure what that is in Celsius, but it's cold. It's like just a few degrees away from like freezing temperatures, which was a really actually pleasant surprise. Yeah. Doing great. Hello. Hey, Moby. Phelp, afternoon from Northern Ireland. Hello. Tom, you get your first MVP for your new website done in Webflow? Heck yeah. Do you want to share it? Do you want to share the link? Put the link in the chat if you want to take a look at it. Ooh, this coffee's strong today. I don't know what she did, but woo! It's 43 here, a bit chilly. Hey, Travis, how are you? John, good to see you. Snakes, hello. Yep, John Beatty in the house. I know, Sam, I noticed your absence on Tuesday. Absolutely. Major Brandman, hey. Hello, Hugo. You gonna share it when you have more pages and stuff? Okay. So how did Wizardry go? Because so far I've been really enjoying it. For those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, in order to build a responsive site, I am using the Wizardry method, which is a tutorial by Timothy Ricks, and it basically boils down to using EMs, which is a relational unit, and setting your body font size to VWs on desktop, which is a viewport width. And so as you increase the width of the website on your desktop computer, the width of the typeface expands. It grows with the browser. And then because all of the typography is set using EMs, it all relates to that body text size. And then at a certain point, you convert everything to pixels, both on a smaller screen and on a really wide screen. So I have my container set to 1920. And then it converts everything to pixels and locks everything in place. And because you're using those relationship units, you only have to change it one place, which is great. So somebody posted in the chat that using viewport width units for typography is bad for accessibility because the user can't hit, command minus or command plus to change the font size, which is an issue. Yeah. I tested some things out and noticed that like in Chrome and Safari, you can change it, but it doesn't, it's not as relationship, or it doesn't scale the same way that setting pixel dimensions does. So it's just a little bit different. And I'm okay with that loss of a little bit of accessibility there. Yeah, I never thought of that either. As a matter of fact, on my current website, I've got a couple of typefaces set in VW, and never even crossed my mind. Can you just add a JavaScript function to use those keybinds on the site to recalculate the site? Actually, that might do it. Because I was thinking about like if it really mattered, I could have like an icon in the header that allowed somebody to increase the font size, and clicking on that little icon would increase the body font size, which is pretty simple. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to need that. I mean, the type size at 1920, like the body copy size is 28. So it's pretty huge. for a portfolio website, it wouldn't really make that big of a difference. Unless you were going for a job that really cared about accessibility. In that case, it would make a big difference because they're going to check that stuff. Yeah. Probably wouldn't use it for a client project yet until that accessibility issue is fixed, but for a personal website, I think it's okay-ish to ignore the issue for now. Yeah, and it depends on the client too. You know, it depends on the goals that they're going for. It's bad to say that, or it's bad to suggest that you can ignore accessibility issues because you shouldn't. But this kind of stuff is like, you know, hitting the plus sign a couple of extra times is not that huge of a deal. Hey, Sensor. Hello. Exactly. Depends on the target user. Yep. Oh man, I wish I had some updates. Yesterday was just a gnarly busy day with a bunch of courses, or a bunch of meetings about new courses that we're putting out. So some really cool stuff is on the way. We've got a layout and grid kit coming from an awesome external author. So I'm super stoked about that. And we've got some other ideas in the pipeline, namely an advertising course and maybe even an ultimate Photoshop course. So got some cool stuff. Let's see. Oh, one thing I would love to hear your guys' takes on. We're encountering an issue. We have a group. It's a paid membership group that has weekly calls, and those calls are recorded and they're uploaded into our library. So we call it the Future Pro Group. And the library of content that we have is growing. I think we have close to 300 calls. Each one is an hour or more. Some are 2 or 3 hours. And the experience of sifting through all that content is pretty gnarly for the user. So what we're looking to do is take all that content, because it's really valuable, right? These are business questions that people are asking Chris and our guests. We're looking to take that content and make it into an indexed and searchable content library, I guess. So I'm curious to see if you guys know any platforms out there that can do that for us, or if we're gonna have to go custom. We've toyed around with the idea of doing something custom for the pro group for a long time, but we've always kind of leaned towards the no code stuff. Yeah, Heather. So you know how it is. It's you can't search the library. You basically have to know what you're looking for and then hope that the title of the video matches the content. So Travis says, invest in machine learning options. AI should be able to scrub through, highlight keywords and topics. Okay. So custom. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I've always, I think that like going with a custom solution could be really cool. Like we could have a place where like there's prompts and people could be journaling inside the actual platform and stuff like that. There's a lot of features that I have in mind that could really benefit a group like that, that's designed to be kind of an incubator and a nurturing solution for growth. But yeah, F and Suite has a good no-code solution. Oh, okay. Use the transcripts to index those videos. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good idea. So Manny says, why not ask pro group users who've been in the calls to call out the most useful moments they remember? That's a great idea. It's a great way to retain learning. The problem is we don't want to ask them to do all the homework for us, you know? We want that library to be a little bit like just-in-time learning is what they call it. You know, you have a problem, you have a really tough objection to a proposal that you sent to a client, and you need to to get some advice real quick. So you go into the library and then you look something up and you hear Chris's answer real quick, or you hear my response, and then you're like, okay, got it. Then you go try it. So Ben over on YouTube says, going on that machine learning bit, if it's uploaded to YouTube as unlisted, you can use the transcript that get provided. Oh, and get the AI to pick out keywords. Oh, that's a good idea. We've used transcription services in the past, so rev.com is great. It's a little bit more accurate than YouTube, but that's a great way to kind of bootstrap that thing. Javin says, it'd be well with making a Ruby on Rails app. I'm thinking custom is the way to go. I've always wanted to venture into that world for the pro community. So well, cool. All right, so back on our project here. You guys, if you have any more ideas, please let me know in the chat. I review the chat every stream, or send me a note in Discord. If someone wants to hit that Discord link in the chat for me, I would appreciate that. There's been some really good conversations in there. As a matter of fact, let's see. Let me pull that up real quick, and I'll show you what's going on. So my hope in this Discord was to give people some audio rooms to jump into where you could maintain a level of anonymity, but then also get some help. And you can see a couple of people, Squall Dog here says, hey, is anyone able to jump in the co-working lobby with me and help me kind of flesh out some things about this stylescape? And then he had a couple of people jump in with him last night, which is awesome. So that's the goal. There's these audio rooms. You can jump in without like sharing your email or your Zoom thing. So that's the whole point of this here. And then also to be able to pop into stream with me. And yeah, so jump in Discord. Let me know if you have any other suggestions. I'd love some no code stuff if it's out there, but otherwise we'll go custom. Chief. All right, the beard. Let's talk about it. You'd be surprised how many people ask. Growing a beard is pretty simple. You just don't shave. And you continue not shaving until you're happy with the result. As far as the timeline, I think it took me a year to hit this length, and I've maintained it ever since. The biggest thing that, like, okay, real talk, right? Real beard talk. If you are wanting to grow a long beard, the worst thing in the world that you can do is shave your neck. Just don't do that, because the length comes from the neck. It's weird. I'm sorry. I know, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, my brothers were like, yeah, I'm gonna grow a beard, and they kept shaving all the way up to their chin. And I'm like, dude, no, that's your beard that you're cutting off there. I went really short about a year ago. I took it down to like an inch, and I just couldn't keep it up. All right, so away from the beard talk that's probably alienating all the ladies in the room, we are going to dig into Webflow. So far, we cloned the existing site and then kind of scrubbed it clean last time. And we've got a ton of typography settings all set. We've got our wizardry stuff set up. So we are moving along to the now page. So I'm probably going to be wrestling with this, and I've built 5 sites in Webflow so far, including a lot that like a good chunk of the futures website. So it's something that I'm familiar with using, like the tool. The thing is that the wizardry method is new to me. So I'm going to take you along, all the bumps and bruises, all of the, obstacles in the road, and we'll learn this thing together. All right, so we've got basically our style guide page, and then we started on the now page last time, and this is exactly where we left off. Boy, you guys love the beard talk, huh? Yeah, more of a goatee vibe, exactly. If you got a shaved neck, you got a goatee. A hollow man beard. Beards and kids. That's my life. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Just to recap what we've created here. We've got our section, and let's see. Why did we name this section? I don't know why we named that section. And we've got our container. And then our content container. Okay, so we've got the container, which has the padding here for our Navbar. Interesting. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking about right now. The current layout, right? We've got a width of 2376 as our canvas. And so we're obviously over that 1920 breakpoint. So our containers max width is kicking in. And if you notice, we've got a huge padding over here that's supposed to be reserving that content for the Navbar. But the Navbar is going to be over here. So we already have an issue with our larger desktops. It's not a huge issue, but it's something to consider, that we may want to take that padding off at a certain page width. Okay. All right, so the other thing that I want to do is I want to wrap everything in a page wrapper and then a scroll wrapper. So I'm going to pull a div block in here. And name this do scroll wrapper. And then we'll put another div in there. What's the keyboard shortcut for this? I forget. Anybody know what the keyboard shortcut to add a div is? I totally forgot. So basically the page wrapper is just in case we ever wanted to copy and paste an entire page. I actually got that from FinSuite. So we can grab this whole page wrapper, which is going to have all of our content, even if we have like content blocks in here that's pulling from our CMS. We can copy it and then paste it into another page. Because Webflow's got this weird thing where if you try and copy just a collection list that's pulling from your CMS, it won't allow you to paste that in another page unless you're grabbing like the whole parent. So it's kind of a weird thing, but just wrapping everything in a page wrapper helps with that. Every time you see this project, you get more in love with the Stelvio type family. Me too, man. Me too. Okay, so inside the page wrapper is going to be our Navbar, which we'll go ahead and style. Let's pull up XD so we can have that as reference. How's audio and video, everybody? Is it all right? Forgot to ask at the beginning of the stream. Hey, John. Good to see you. Okay, John, I gotta share that video. It's hysterical. So John made something in Discord yesterday that was just absolutely funny. I don't know what inspired this. Maybe me like throwing my keyboard that one time, but yeah. Thanks, man. That was great. I think that's going to be the new Discord icon. Audio and video are great. Perfect. Bits of String. Webflow is also a site hosting platform. Absolutely. Yeah, it's once you design it in XD, you can basically visually develop it in Webflow and then publish. More to come? Oh my gosh. John, you're crazy. Okay. So I think I want to build out the Navbar, which is going to be position fixed. So it's just basically going to stick, let's see, to the side of the browser when you scroll. So it'll look something a little bit like that. So I'm not going to put this button together yet because I haven't decided if this animation is going to be like a Lottie animation or if I'm going to do the whole thing in Webflow. But we'll put a placeholder image here. Should be good. Okay. So let's start building this. So I want it inside the page wrapper, but outside of the scroll wrapper. So is to use locomotive scroll, which basically freezes your browser scroll and then uses CSS transitions to scroll the rest of the site. Never used it before. I'm going to try it, but I'm going to build the site like I'm going to use it. So I'm going to put the menu outside of the scroll wrapper so that it's, we can use that fixed position. How are you going to implement the dark light mode versions? I haven't found a good intuitive way of doing it. Tim Ricks actually has a tutorial on his channel that I'm going to follow. It involves a tiny amount of custom code. All right, so we want this to be here. Let's write div, do nav wrapper. Make this fixed, and it's going to be fixed inside. We'll put a width of, let's see, what's our padding here? 12.5 EM. So we'll match that width on our nav wrapper. Okay, so there it is. We'll display flex here. Do vertical, align to the left, and then we'll probably add some padding in here. Let's see. It's about 40, which is same as our gutters. So what we can do is go over to our calculators here. So let's say 40. It's going to be 2.08 at EM. And then the padding from the top. Probably just use a set pixel for padding on the top. It's also 40, so maybe not. Okay, so now that we've got the wrapper set, it matches the the padding that we've set on our containers here. And I'm debating whether or not to wrap the side elements inside another div right now. Well, let's just say actually we'll make that a button. I read somewhere that you can now convert divs to link blocks. Yep, right there. Right click. Awesome. So we'll make this our button, and I like to create these buttons with just simply colored divs. So we'll do, let's see. Actually going to move this over here so I can reference it. I'm classing these different, not just because they're different widths, but also if I wanted to do an animation in Webflow upon click, I want to be able to move each line individually. Oops. Okay, so that is 48. That one's 40. So I'm just about spot on. It's 18.5. There you go. Simple button. Ben from the South gives a suggestion. You can use the prefers color scheme CSS code and use CSS variables, and then use JavaScript to change the preference to switch back and forth. Yep. I think that's the right way to do it. It's getting Webflow users, which are no code, like we like the no code aspect of Webflow. It's getting us to participate in that kind of stuff is the challenge. All right. So I'll go ahead and export this as an SVG. there's just little things in Windows, or I should say there's little things in Mac OS that I miss about Windows. Like the ability to just hit Command D in the Finder and go right to the desktop. And maybe I'm just missing out on the short codes, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, and then the ability to edit extensions right there in the Finder. That's another good one. All right, let's see. Put an image in here. Okay. Probably want to wrap that in a div as well. Have you enabled file extensions in the File Explorer property? Oh, I have not. How do you do that, Ben? T-Rix code snippets are life-saving? Absolutely. Yes, they are. All right, so how do you change the color? Because I want this logo image to be dynamically colored. How do you change the SVG color in Webflow? Anybody know? Just moved from Windows to Mac and I already don't know how I survived the past years. Oh no. Eric M, you know. Okay. How do you do it? CSS filters? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Wonder if there's a background. Nope. That literally sets the entire background. There's got to be a way to dynamically color this thing by default. Okay, so press the window explorer. Okay, all right, cool. I'll do that after stream. Hey, good to see you. This week is crazy, huh? Yeah, type color does not change it. I'm wondering if we have to do that with CSS. Filters? Hue rotate? Grayscale. You could invert it. It's not gonna match though. Oh, you paste the code in an embed? Oh, I see. Yeah, current color would work. Okay. All right, so how do we do that? Is it an export option in XD? So export, let's see. Presentation attributes, internal, no. So she did it as custom code using SVG OMG and then changing the fill attribute of the SB. Okay, I'm gonna Google that. That seems Googleable. All right, so let's see. We're here. Open with Notepad. All right. So we're going to paste in there and then copy the code. Okay, so we go open the SVG here. I've never used this. Okay, so there it is right there. All right. Yeah, we want to change the fill of an SVG. Okay, so paste it in there and then you can copy the code and change the color attribute. This is kind of overwhelming. Is it this? No. Markup? Oh, are you talking about this here? Okay. Is it fill none? Oh, fill. Here's the color. So I'm going to change this to current color, right? Yeah, right? Like this should definitely be a native feature. All right, so we are going to go to Notepad and I'm just going to replace this. And then try this here. That's the correct markup, right? Fill current color in camel case. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so then we paste it. I don't think we need all that garbage. All right, then go here and just replace this with custom code, correct? I always lose this one. Embed. Bam! That was it. Man, great job, guys. Okay, so what we did was we exported an SVG from XD here. We took the SVG into SVG OMG, copied this markup, replaced our fill color in Notepad to current color, which pulls the active font color of the parent. And so theoretically, this div block will just go test here. Oh, I see. I forgot to change that class. All right, so we'll just change the font color of the parent div and it changes. So you notice that little flame icon has changed colors depending on the parent color or the parent div text color. Very cool. Isn't it quicker to change it in AI quickly and export? It is, but here's the problem. With a light mode, dark mode switch, what I want to be able to do is literally grab the body, okay? And then change the font color here. You see right now it's styled to black, but if I change the font color, all my other stuff is going to change. And I want that to change as well, along with the font color. So I'm thinking of like the future use cases of this stuff when I'm developing the site. And then is there a way that we can do current color with these nav button top lines, etc.? Like I don't think that there's a way to do. Let's see, is it current color? No, you can't do that. All right. So I'm wondering if we need to say, like, put a special class on here that's like current color or something, and then style it in custom code. I love that like we've got a bunch of people that know dev in the chat. Thank you guys. This is awesome. All right, so then we've got another SVG here, which is probably going to be a Lottie animation. Again, I haven't decided yet, but I'm just going to export this as an image and use that as a placeholder before I figure that out at a later date. So we'll do export the SVG, name that. There we go. So again, this is a placeholder. This is the real deal. And then go there. Okay. MDS Zilla, if you don't mind me asking, what made you switch to Webflow? Yeah, it was honestly just Webflow enables me as a designer who doesn't know much about front end to build websites. So it's the gap between the thought and the design and then the actual build that was really, really appealing to me. And then because we didn't have any devs on our team and we weren't planning on hiring any engineers or anything like that, we wanted to build sites that like we could really, really easily update and change and test things and stuff like that. So Webflow really fit in. Plus, I love this company, man. I've met Vlad 3 times, who's the CEO. He's a great guy, family man. Like, I just, I'm a full supporter of this company. So yeah, a little bit of a fanboy. All right. So that's the basic gist of it. We'll get into the Navbar or the nav interactions and creating the full screen menu after we've fleshed out the grid on the page. So there's the nav wrapper for now. Just wanted to have those elements here. Yeah. The one thing about this SVG here is it's a little small. Okay, so here's the width and the height. All right. And then is this pixel value? It's got to be, right? And then if we change the, can we use, ooh, why not do that? Do we need to set the width and the height? Do we need to set both the width and the height for a dynamic SVG like this? Or can we set the width and have the height scale proportionally? Let me know. For now, it's okay. We'll leave it, but I have an inkling that we're going to change that in a sec. Sounds good. I'm considering switching from WordPress to Webflow, just getting used to the structure of building this. Lucky me, I found your channel. Oh, yeah, nice. Very cool. Well, welcome, MDS. Manny, I'm curious why y'all didn't hire developers if you're working on web projects. You know, honestly, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. We just haven't prioritized it. Especially with the new stuff that we're going to be doing with the pro group, I could see us opening some tech-driven positions there. Okay, so we're going to leave the nav wrapper right there and then focus the rest of today on our actual site. Okay, so we've got a section here and then 2 containers. I'm wondering why I did this way, because we've got a section and a container and then a content container. Oh, I know, because the section is supposed to be full width with no padding, and then the container is supposed to be the thing that's limited width that has padding inside, and then we've got our content container, which needs to be, this is like the flex column display. This makes sense. Okay, so the section is really not a section. So we should probably rename that class. The container is actually a section. Still wrestling with this. I feel like we've got one extra div in here. Can you make it bigger so I can read it? The word now? Whew. Would there be a copywriting course by the future? Okay, so we've done a little bit more on the brand messaging side, but that's definitely something that I've been looking into. We just hired a new copywriter who is absolutely incredible. Her name is Stephanie, and she does great work. So I'm kind of like wondering if she wants to teach. We'll see. Referring to the SVG code you asked questions about? Yeah, so let's see. Basically, whoops, I've got an icon here that's got a set width and a set height, and I think these are in pixels, but I'm not sure. If I wanted to change the width and height, is there a way that I can just have this relationship scale? So I could just set a height value or a width value, and does it always have to be pixels? Major brand man, sorry. It's definitely more of a collaboration than a co-working thing today. Enjoy. We'll catch you tomorrow. Yeah, they are pixel elements. Well, let me know. That's something I can look up later. I don't want to use the view box instead, then control width and height in CSS. Okay. I'll have to circle back around on that because I don't want to dedicate the entire stream to that. So we'll get back to this. Thank you, Manny. I really appreciate it. I'll probably circle back around with you later for that. All right. So I think what we're going to do is probably keep section as, let's see, this is the scroll wrapper. So we'll probably pull container up here and just delete our section. And then we can clean up our classes here. Nope, we don't want to do that yet. Hey, base 10. All right, so we've got our container, and then I think I'm going to rename this to be section. Yep, all right. Because this is actually the section, I believe. Yeah, that is. All right. So I'm going to make a section combo class where we're going to set a height in viewport height. Do maybe 90. Let's stick to 80. See how it goes. So I'm adding the text that shows up at the top of the page here. So it's what I'm up to, and then this logo image here. So we'll export this. We'll follow that same protocol with the SVG. So here's the issue right here. Font family, Vultura regular. So on some browsers, because we have typography in here, this would cause errors. So what I've seen before is if you have typography inside an SVG, you have to do something to it. So what I'm going to do is expand the type before I export it out. So throw that one away. I don't think I've ever expanded type in Adobe XD. Let's try it. Convert to path. Yep, there we go. It's pretty easy. So we'll group those together and export. There we go. So we'll take this markup, we'll change this to, oh yeah, we can't. Got to pull that into Notepad and change that fill to current color. So we're adding the HTML embed, save and close. Where did we go wrong there? Oh, we got a bunch of garbage here. There we go. And then we're missing a fill. So out of the corner of my eye, I'm noticing that this, like my preview stream, or my stream preview is starting to dip in and out. Have we been losing anything? Let me know. There we go. So we made that one change and we are good to go. You can use the area hidden attribute with text behind your SVG elements to make sure browsers and screen readers can understand your HTML. Interesting. I've never heard of that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a notepad doc with all of your guys' suggestions to look up. So area hidden attribute for text within SVGs. There's an area on the Futures website on the shop page. So future.com. If we go to the shop page, I'll show you where things broke here. And it was right here. So I exported this background text as a SVG, and then on some browsers it came across as like Times New Roman or something like that, and it looked terrible for about a month before I realized what was going on. So I'm glad that there's something that you can do to keep that live text in there. But it's pretty easy just to export it as a path. Oh, it helps with SEO. Interesting. Actually, probably want to make this a paragraph instead. There we go. That's all nicely in line, and it should scale nicely. There we go. Awesome. Aveen, I am copying that link and we'll look into it. Keeping track of all your suggestions. Thank you. You guys are absolutely right. The having engineers, devs in the chat is fantastic. All right, so I think this is good for the header section for right now. The one concern that I have is that when we hit 1920, right? So let's see, right there is 1920. We've got our paddings, set so that this navbar is accommodated, right? So that this now text doesn't run into anything. Then when we go wider, it seems like a waste to have that padding still there. So I'm wondering if we should probably just add that custom code where it removes the left padding in the B section class. Okay. All right, we'll tackle that at a later date. Let's do div block. I'll add another section. And this one's going to be our image. So I don't think I have an export of this image, and we're probably just going to continue to reuse this as a placeholder while we build the site. So Put that there. And we'll add our column container. So this is 5 column. And the way I'm calculating that is, you can see content container is divided up into a 5 column grid. Each column has a specific amount of padding, and this spans the entire width of the content. So it's considered 5 column width. We'll add one here and our empty office div. So you can see it's pretty beautiful. We'll probably need to add some styling to this image container, but I'm not sure what I want it to do yet, you know, as the thing scrolls down. So right now it's okay. So the thing that I am noticing is that the distance between our word here and the next container is a little too high. So I'm going to investigate why that is. So it shouldn't be the padding, right? So we can just, or the margins, so we can just set that to 0. So we don't really even need that. But it is, let's see, 5 column. It's pulling from the height from somewhere. The content. Right here. So content container has a height of 500 pixels for some reason. Maybe it's leftover from previous. So we'll just do that. There we go. Should be good to go. So normally I would want my sections to have some sort of padding on the bottom, just to give that, or margin on the bottom, I guess, to give that a little space. But on the header B section, I don't. So we'll take this section, we'll add, I don't know, maybe let's try 10 EMs. There we go. It's about good. And then on the header combo class, you can remove that. All right. Yeah, line height. That was my first thought too. But it should just be 18.75 EMs, so it shouldn't add anything. But yeah, that was it. All right. Next up, we've got this crazy type. So I'll go ahead and copy this. And I'm considering this image and this text and this image and this text all within the same section. Like when I think about search engines looking at this page, I want them to consider all of this one thing and then move into a different section as seen by this rule, this line. So I'm going to continue adding my content containers inside this one section. So we'll go ahead and duplicate that. You can see here's the duplicate content container. It's still going to be 5 column because it's such a wide piece of type. I believe that this is our H2. So we'll keep that, but we can delete the div block that has our image in there. So we'll go ahead and add an H2, let's see, heading. Paste our copy in there. So this is H1, and we can just change the heading type by dropping it down to H2. So we have one issue here. We have an entire section or content container, I guess, that we don't have any padding. We don't have any like a set height. And if we look at our design, there's a padding of a set pixel height. I think it's designed to be 360. It's 343 right now. So what I want to happen is to be able to, as we scroll, this text should just live almost as a slide. And I think what I need to do is take this container and make it a specific viewport height on desktop. So the way that I want to do that is basically adding a height to this content container. So I'm just going to create a combo class called full height. And set that to 100 VH. And then also center the content in there. Boom, done. Boom, roasted. Cornelius, you like the dark mode? Yeah, me too. It's gonna be super cool when I add the noise in the background. There's a soft spot that I have for the light mode though too. All right, so that actually works. Okay, next we've got this image here, which is going to be in its own content container. So you can see I'm just basically creating rows, right? Each content container is a row. And with this one, we're not going to have a 5-column width. We're actually going to make this 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So because we've already got those classes set up, we can just change it. So the developers in the chat, if I'm doing anything that's like, oh my God, if you're seeing stuff that's just crazy, let me know. Like seriously, call me out, because I'm here to learn just as much as you guys are. Okay, so what's beautiful about that system, what I like about that system is it automatically makes everything line up to the grid, right? So you can see each column has the padding built in for the gutters, and the image lines up with the text, which lines up with the image, which lines up with the header. Everything's in line. And it doesn't matter if we're doing 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, everything's going to be the same. And then when we go to responsive, we can just line the columns up, just reorganize them. All right, so then we've got this one where we've got a 2-column layout here. We've got 1 column on the side and then a 3-column text layout. So I'm going to copy that copy. Change this to a 3-column layout. And then we'll add another div and set that to 1 column. We won't need heading, we'll need paragraph. Okay, and it's actually 2 paragraphs. Bam. Okay, so just to recap, we've got a 1-column div that's spacing this out from the side, which we're going to fill with content in 1 second. And then we've got a 3-column div here that contains our paragraphs. All right, so here we've got our meta text and our caption size text. So we'll go ahead and add those. And those I don't really consider paragraphs or anything. I just consider them text blocks. So we'll go there and do 2. Set this to meta. Updated. Then we'll do April 21, 2021. So a couple things are going on here. Right now, this container is our full height combo class. So to remove that, we just remove that combo class. And there we are. So I think what we'll need to do is, let's see. This is 245. This is 263. So we're a little bit all over the place. So we can add margins and paddings to this image wrapper. But I think what we really need to do is create a set bottom padding for each container. Yep. Okay. So we'll take this current container and then we'll add bottom padding in EMs. So 240, so that's probably right around 12 EMs. Yeah, that works. And then on our full height, we'll set our bottom padding to 0 just to keep that full height. Go ahead and preview this. There it is. Now, this is that gap is pretty huge, but I think it's because we're working with a strange aspect ratio on our browser. Just to fix that, let's go ahead and change that away from 100 vertical height and make that maybe 90. Oh, and we added that padding here. Interesting. Yeah, I like that. So we just reduced the height of our full height. Do 84, something like that. Now, whenever you're using vertical height VH units, you're operating on a percentage of the height of the browser. So it can be a little dangerous, especially when you go to mobile, but it's just something to keep in mind and check your work as you move into responsive. Okay. Hugo, we'll see you later. Thanks for joining. Nerdski. Never really understood EMs versus Pixel. Why is one better than the other? I wouldn't say either one is better. EMs has an advantage when you want to be able to scale things equally and scale things site-wide without changing individual units. So I'll give you an example, right? So these type sizes are all set in EMs. So are the paddings. So if I grab my body class, you can see my type size is VW. Now all those EMs relate back to their parent size. And so if I were to take my body size, which is the ultimate parent, and change this to 2VW, every single unit or every single element that's sized with EMs is going to increase. It's going to double in size. So we'll say 2, and there it is. Everything gets bigger. So obviously we don't want to do that, but that's the power of EMs. It's their a relational unit. Manny coming in clutch with the succinct version. EMs and REMs are better for responsive design, proportions, and scaling. Absolutely. And what's nice about this is that, like, let's say we wrapped this in a specific, I don't know, div. Because these pieces of type are styled in EMs, we can basically increase we can change the font size of this parent item, and we can say, you know what, let's set this at a fixed 30 pixel unit, and then the font sizes in there recognize the parent and adapt to what the parent is. So that's your advantage of EMs and REMs versus set pixels. Okay. All right, so now we've got some cool stuff here. We've got a line, so we'll figure out how we want to do that. And then we've got another 2-column layout where we've got our meta text over here, then we've got a heading, and then we've got this hoverable system here. And I think we're actually going to use a collection for these, which will make it really easy for me to update. So for those of you guys who are new to Webflow, a collection list is what it's called in Webflow. It's basically Webflow saying, all right, we're going to tap into a content management system. We're going to tap into a database and pull elements from the database for this list. And so you can see I've got 5 things here. I can create a database, a CMS collection that has a title, a description, a number, and a preview image. And the website will pull from that collection for these things. So the awesome thing about that is, like, I could literally send out a tweet with a title and an image, and I could set up an automation to pull that tweet. If it's got a specific hashtag or something like that, I could pull that tweet and have Webflow add an item to a collection just simply based on that. So the site can be always updated depending on my Twitter feed. All right, so let's work out this section heading here. So now that we're in a different section, we want to add a different section. Now you will notice that I'm not using the Webflow default sections here, and that is for a reason. And I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just kidding. Default Webflow sections and containers come with styling built in that you have to overcome. So you can just skip that whole thing by styling your own divs. All right, so what did I have here? The hit list. Okay, so this is actually a 4-column layout. So we'll simply just change that class. There we are. I believe that's an H1. Yep. There's creatures at my door. Make sure you're adding this section markup back in under the year settings tab. Oh, under the settings tab. Yeah, so it is built into this section class. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, man, great call. I thought it would carry that, and it does not. Okay, so here's where things get a little tricky. We want to add this line, but I don't think it's going to be a line with a border. I think we need to make this its own individual div with a background color that can be changed depending on what the type color is. So this is where we'll probably have to loop in some custom CSS. For now, what I'm going to do is just create this div and then style it accordingly, and then figure out how to make that pull that relation in. 4 EM, so I'll set margin 1.4 EM. We have here 80. So that should work out to be about 4 EM. There we go. Okay, so we ran into this issue with the futures site too. Depending on the line height of the headings and the different type sizes, we can have some misalignment going on. So we've got the meta text here and then our heading. And I'm wondering, I'll just make a combo class. So that way we can set the margin at maybe 1.5. Too much. Why use a div and not an HR? Javine, oh man, you had to go through 20 plus pages and add all the yeah, that would suck. Okay, so one thing that I'm noticing that is kind of a disadvantage for our layout here is that this is really technically not supposed to be an H1 because you're only supposed to have one H1 on the page. It's supposed to be an H2, but that type is too small. So we actually need to create a class that represents our H1 sizing with our H2. So I think it's pretty simple. Just create a class called heading1, and then we just resize it according to this 6.77 and then 0.92. So go, wait a minute. Yeah. There we go. So now we've got an H2 that's styled as an H1, which will look correct. Sam, what is an HR? I forget. Is it in here? Header? Header for a document or section? And see here, our H1 is styled heading massive right there. Oh, horizontal rule. Oh, I see. Yeah, I've never seen that in Webflow. I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll style these and then build our CMS afterwards, after we get all these things styled. But the thing that I'm going to keep in mind is that as I build this structure, I'm going to keep in mind how this thing's supposed to work so that when we go to style our CMS, our content list, you know, these hover effects are going to be easier, right? Because this has to be a wrapper here, and then the picture has to be within this item. So on hover, the picture will show, and the rest of the siblings of these will dim in opacity. In this case, because your content breaks between sections, I don't think it matters semantically. You talking about the H1? The H1 issue? It sounds like an action show. H1 issue. Put a paragraph in there. That's a weird text size there. It's 70, and I don't think we have an existing class for that, so we'll create that. There we go. That kind of lines up there. Oh, the horizontal line. Okay, I gotcha. What's up, kiddos? It's Frank. Hello. Engage and build up the conversation with you fine creative folk. Welcome, Frank. Dude, Frank always comes in. He's like, hello. I love it. I love it. Would you look at that? I have made a mistake. It happens, people. It happens. I would love to ask one of the developers in the chat. This is a great learning opportunity for all the designers watching. So thank you guys for being available to answer questions. When is it appropriate to use margins versus padding? Esteban. Right on. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I don't know about appropriate, but I stick to margins to keep objects separated and padding to organize them in drawers. Interesting. Okay. That's the theory that I've been operating on for years, but I never knew if that was like, if there was a way, like this is a clear differentiation between when each should be used. You know, I'm always kind of searching for like, what's the right way? Padding will push the border of an element while margin will push outside of it. Yep. One crucial difference is that padding increases the clickable area, but margin doesn't, which makes total sense. Sometimes margin will do strange things like push down the parent container. Yeah, I've noticed that. Interesting. And why is it? Now I'm just being selfish. So thanks. But okay, so why is it that sometimes when you add, let's say you add margin on the top and the bottom of these wrappers, the margin isn't additive, right? So I've got one EM margin on the top, but I could go all the way up to 4, right? And it doesn't increase the spacing between the items because the margin tends to overlap. Like, what is that? Feels strange to me. When trying to separate items in a list, I think a margin bottom is the way to go. I agree. And I've always wondered, like, the difference between that top and bottom margin, you can see like it's moving the entire list down, but it's not moving the items apart in between because there's already a bottom margin here. And it tends to, like, the margins like overlap versus respect each other, Oh, that's collapsing behavior? Another term to look up. Going over to Notepad. Zypheric has got the sauce, y'all. Yeah. It makes sense. It was just, especially when I was first starting out, I just got incredibly frustrated because I wanted to add equal spacing on the top and the bottom of an element, and then it just didn't work. All right, so we're going to convert this to a link block. It's kind of cool. Right? Oh, I see. So it... Wait, what happened there? Oh, I see. So is it multiplying that? That was kind of a weird thing. So we converted this to a link block, which took our link text and multiplied it, I believe, by what the font size this is. That was really interesting. Does it do the same thing with the paragraph? Yeah, same thing with the paragraph. So I wonder if we gotta go and remove our link text size. Let's try that real quick. What? Oh, it's changing the font even. wonder if we need to change the body font. I bet that's what it is. That at Stelvio. That's what did it. Okay, so here's what just happened. I removed some styling on the body and inadvertently added a body CSS class, which was left over from the previous site, which changed pretty much everything. And that was the garbage can that you just witnessed. All right, so we've got these things are all set equally now. And what's cool is we can compare it to our 1920 layout here. So we've got an incredible keycap set, and that T kind of lines up with the E in recently. And we're just about close there. You gotta love the bumps and bruises. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Well, that was fun. Okay, cool. All right, like I said, we're going to set up the content management system and the collection list here later, but I just want to get these styles in place so that when we bring that in, we can bring these elements right into the collection list and go to town there. So I'm going to style the background image or the thumbnail that shows up on Hover in a second. But I'm going to take a quick bio break and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. See you in a minute. And we're back. Okay. So, how you guys doing? Hanging in there? Interesting? Just working alongside? This one's way too slow. This one takes the energy way down. I'm gonna remove that. And we'll go with that one. Hey, Autumn Light. Yo, yo. Oh, here's something interesting. Oh, you know what that is? That's in our custom code. We have to remove our lock on the bottom. Hold on 1 second. Let me find that. So small screens, they're going to lock right here. So I'm going to remove A from that. There we go. Boom. All right, so let's try adding our image in here. So first we'll add a div block. Set it to the bottom of that thing. And this will be our image wrapper. So for now, it doesn't really matter what that image is. We use this one. And we'll set this to absolute. Okay, so right now it's covering all of our other stuff. Don't want it to do that. So we need to do some Z indexing. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but there was just a big crash. I think something glass broke out there. Or at least. Oh. Here's what I want it to do. I want it to float, be absolute, obviously, because it can't affect the parent div sizing. But I also want it to be tied to the right edge. Actually, maybe not. The way that I have it laid out here is that on hover, it actually adheres to the edge of the grid. So I may have to do some margins. Let's try that. But first we gotta wrap this in. Wrap our text here. Autumn. Maybe I can help you with your issue if you encounter some. I'm an animation focused. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, shoot me a message on Discord, and love to collab. Right, let's see. Got our image wrapper. So when we set this to flex, it behaves more appropriately. Okay. So I'm basically adding overlay. And we're going to make that transparent. Right there. That's basically what I'm looking for. Beautiful. Okay, so the rest of them will be hidden. So this is good for now until we're ready to create our CMS for these. It's going to be the hit list CMS. And it's pretty, you know what? Let's just do it, right? We're here. So I'm going to create a new collection. We'll name this hit list. And the name will be the title. This will be the description line. And we'll pull an image in here and hover image. That's it. Okay. Just have Webflow create some sample items. So they've automatically pulled in images and pulled in names. So we'll just go ahead and pull our names here and enter them in the titles. These will all be deleted before we go live, but we'll need some stuff in here. Something I'm gonna have to look up and find a tutorial is how to get Webflow to count and display a number appropriate here. So I don't think that Webflow can do this like 003 by default. We have to figure out how to get that to display right. Okay. So now let's make this related to that CMS. So we'll add a collection list. Oops. Right there. And we can start styling things. Got our collection list here. Collection item is going to be our item wrapper. Actually, matter of fact, we do need to just pull all this stuff in here. So let's see if we can do that. Could not add a color. Oh, yep. Okay. Joy. So here. Oh, it says connect it to a collection list. Here's our hit list. See if we can add a link block in here. Boom. Boom, roasted. You can use before and then make a CSS with a number counter. Nice. Can I use CSS counters? Oh, I see. So this will be a little bit of custom code, right? We'll need a, or say before and then CSS with a counter. Yeah, count CMS items. So Autumn Light, it sounds like you know exactly what you're doing here. I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. I need to see like a tutorial or something. Okay. So we can basically remove all these. And so now our collection list is displaying, and now we just need to connect everything. So list title, we're going to get this text from our hit list as the name. So boom, right there. Incredible keycap set. This amazing, it's linked to that CMS. And then for the paragraph, here's what I'm going to do here. Because I'm probably going to forget to put the M dash, I'm going to wrap this paragraph in a simple div here. And I'm just going to say flex horizontal. Because I'm going to reuse that all the time. Okay, and throw the paragraph in there and actually duplicate that paragraph. Maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll just add a text link here. Nope, not a text link. Add a text block. Remove that paragraph, and then I've just changed my mind. So we can do that. We can do that here. There we go. So that way, it doesn't matter what I put in here, it'll always have that little M dash. All right. Okay. And we can just edit the length of each item in our CMS. Check Discord? Awesome, I will. There we go. Okay, so by default, this list hover actually needs to be hidden. So we'll go ahead and make that happen. Oh, did the styling change on that? No. Okay. And then when we break into interactions, we'll add a hover effect where that image kind of fades into view behind the text. We're also going to change the z-index of the entire wrapper to bring both the image and the text above all of the siblings. All right, I'm going to check Discord to see if Autumn Light, let's see. Okay, so I see the code here. Thank you, Autumn Light. I really appreciate this. So text before if required counter section. Where do I put this? Is it in the global HTML up there? "12 boobs." That's a little weird. By the way, there's a game available over here. Wrong stream. Autumn, I'm gonna hit you up in a little bit to figure this out. My goal is to finish this page, just the layout, by the end of the stream. So global HTML, and then the class is counter. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so how do I have that leading 0 in this case? I'll remove that. I am a little lost here. So it shows up when I have something in there, right? Yeah, it auto empties it. Yeah, I've fixed this before, and it was something like this, where it was a CSS counter. Yeah, I think I've done this on the future site. In the meantime, though, let's keep trucking with this, and I'll circle back around to this when I've got some clarity. Thank you so much for the help. All right, let's get back to our XD document. So here we've got 3-column image and 2-column layout where the text is centered in those 2 columns. Oh, Autumn, that's awesome. So you're currently making your own Webflow-like software, but embed with custom breakpoints, and just got my code import running. It indexed the website code, created a no-code list for it. That's great. Congrats. All right, so let's see. We need a new container. Hey, did you guys tune into the Apple event yesterday? We kind of left off, or on Tuesday, we kind of joined Charlie a little bit halfway through. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Zach, welcome back. Frank likes Wix. You know what? I tell you what. Once I'm done with this series, I will jump into Wix, and we'll do this together on stream. And if it's great, I will eat crow. If it still sucks, I'm gonna say it sucks. New iMacs are oversized iPads with a chin and a stand, especially with the white bezels. I just wasn't thrilled. Like, I get the color thing. They did this before with the what were the Bubble Macs? Were those was that the first iMac? And that was wildly successful. But I don't know. I just feel like we've moved on. But that being said, it's not an iMac Pro. It's not designed for pro users. And even the screen size, it's just, I don't know. Should test out all the website builders and do a comparison. Yeah, that's a good idea. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this section tied to a content management, or tied to a collection, because this is for books, right? This is for the book that I've read recently. And I think what I want to do is write a summary blog post on each book. And that really helps me retain information. Withheld the space gray for the Mac Pro. Yeah, you're not lying. What is this? Yeah, just book. Autumn Light, absolutely. Send it. You just want a 16-inch MacBook Pro with that next generation M1. I think Greg's waiting on that too. I'm actually, he might be waiting on the iMac Pro. I'm a firm believer, lover of the MacBook Pro. Just because I use several different computers on one or two monitors, so that's what I like. All right, let's see. I think what I want to do is have this arrow not be an image because it's built into that Vultura. I think we went, yeah. Need the arrow. Here we go. Oh, is that not it? Maybe that was Stelvio. It was. Oh, I modified it a little bit. I don't know. The stubby arrow might be the jam. Right on, Autumn Light. I'll check that out. Right, so we've got text link here. We probably need to add a div line. I want to animate this in the future, so I'm actually going to make this a block. You got a MacBook Pro and it's a nice balance of mobility and power. Yeah. I mean, sometimes like I work on the couch and it's just incredibly nice to be able to pick this thing up and go. But when I was working at the office, I literally had a duplicate setup at home than I had in my office. So I could basically take my computer to two places instead of, trying to sync desktops and stuff like that. So that was the real driver, because I used to be a huge iMac fan, but trying to get this to pin to the bottom without having to change my 2-column or add a combo class, but it's fine. I'm wondering why. Hold on. Why is this going full width? Yeah, exactly. The back and forth, that was kind of miserable. There we go. There we go. Okay. Saving up to get yourself a laptop. MacBook, they are not cheap. Yeah, that's my biggest gripe about it. I used to not really like the touch bar, but I've grown very much accustomed to that. Being able to like hit a button with my finger and then slide for volume and slide for screen brightness or key brightness, like that stuff is actually pretty cool. It is a very, very good investment. Yeah. The ROI of a laptop is huge. Or can be huge, I should say. All right. So. Next up, we have our title. Actually, that's going to be a whole different section. So I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, now we're in the toolbox. How do I have this in our light? Okay, so they're white cards. Got it. My MacBook Pros have been expensive, but never let me down. I've never had one die on me. Like I've heard horror stories about that, but I've never had one go out on me completely. Knock on wood. Yeah. Autumn Light, are you on Windows? MacBook Pro is 6 years old and still a beast. Amen. With the touch bar, what do you do when you need to press an F key? I think they're all under a different layer on the keyboard. So you hit the FN and then you hit 1 through 9 or whatever. Yep. All right, so this is also going to be a CMS. But we'll go ahead and do the same thing that we did before where we build each one kind of individually and then go from there. The thing that I'm wondering is, should we create a variation of the hit list for these tools? Probably not. Probably not. This card here. So normally these cards, like, since they're outside of the grid, we're not going to use percentages to calculate the width. We'll probably just use EMs. Only thing I'm worried with that is because I think what I'm going to use here is the slick slider that we did on the Futures website, and so I'm a little bit concerned about using non-fixed units with that kind of slider. But we'll see how it goes. We'll create 3 cards here, get them styled, and then build that slider on another day. That took 5 hours for me to put together. Right now, PCs are expensive. Yeah, you're not lying. I have been waiting for a 3080 for a long time. Keep track of the time. Okay, it's almost 1:30. I think we need to stop here, because if I start working on this, it's going to be another hour to finish this page. Okay, we're close. We literally have 2 sections to go, and then pretty much everything's styled. And the beauty of this is that, like, you can see how many instances we reuse the same components, the same styling, and so our velocity as we progress through the project is just going to speed up, because we're literally just pulling, you know, the things that we've already designed for each one of these. So I suspect that the next stream, which is going to be on Tuesday, we're going to finish this now page and probably get our resources page wrapped up. Yeah. Can I check out your animation? Yeah, let's see it. Entirely no code. Let's check it out. That's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Look at that. Is that like a cursor takeover that has like a snap to element kind of thing? Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. Man, that is really cool. Show hide hitboxes. That is crazy. Autumn, I may need your help because I do have a couple of cursor takeovers. Animation that I need to do. This is really neat. Because you can see it's attached to the cursor here, and then it just adapts to whatever you're hovering over. Why are the L's lowercase? I think that's a name. W-E-I-I. Like way. I hope you like this cursor. Or maybe it's a different language. I'm guessing here. I don't know. Autumn. Right on. In high school? Man, this is great. Good for you. That is a really cool animation though. Awesome. GPUs are getting scalped and brought up on top of the... Yeah. And miners, right? People who mine Bitcoin and stuff like that. They're buying them all up and all that kind of crap, but... Not a good mix. Yeah, exactly. There was rumored that NVIDIA is going to come out with some GPUs that are specifically number one for mining, but then also come out with gaming GPUs that they can't be hacked for mining. And it's like, come on, guys. Anything can be hacked. Yeah. You got your 3080 for retail? How? Did you join one of those bidding things? Thought you meant miners. No. Miners, like Bitcoin miners. Yeah. Custom firmware will do the trick. Yeah, EVGA waiting list. I'm on several waiting lists and I've literally not heard anything about it. I'm on the Cybertruck waiting list and I still haven't heard anything. And it's been almost 2 years. Yeah. Wow. That's really cool, MDS. Man, good for you. That's funny. Yeah, 2 years on that waiting list. It's I'm excited about it. I think it looks cool. I'm just a little tired of waiting. Totally different, yeah. Well, cool. All right, so we made some good progress today. Kind of figuring out layout stuff in our Webflow website, and if I work on this at night, I'll try and stream them, but it's gonna be late. Like I typically work, after dinner with the family and kids and all that kind of stuff. Typically work 3 or 4 hours at night, but it's midnight or 1 a.m. my time, so sometimes I have to be a little quiet, which doesn't make for a great stream. But yeah, we'll just keep plugging away at this. Eventually we need to tackle like the Navbar and opening the menu, which is always fun, and dealing with all those interactions. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. All right, so when do I sleep? So I usually sleep around 2 or 3. I go to bed around 2 or 3, and then I wake up around 9. Yeah, it's enough. No critiques today. I think during this dev period, we're gonna slow down on the critiques because typically they take about a half an hour of the stream time, which is time that I absolutely need to be working on this because it's tons of work and not a lot of time to do it. So we will bring critiques back after this phase is done in the project. Hope that's okay. Yeah. I know you have stuff to critique, Matt. You're all up in that channel. Yeah. All right, guys. Yes, please share your work in Discord. Absolutely. Especially if it's crazy illustrations of me. All right, guys. Let's find somebody to raid. Who's online right now? Let's go to Twitch. Let's find a hot tub streamer. Just playing. Let's find a dude hot tub streamer. I'm kidding. Oh, A's on. It's been a minute since we rated A. Let's do that. Thanks, Moonraid. I appreciate it. So MDS got one more question. What course would you recommend for a person to transition from freelance to agency? Took a few courses, paid in full, and how to negotiate. It's difficult. Here, let me mute A for a second. I think that first you need to identify what issues that you have, because ideally I would recommend Business Bootcamp, but honestly that literally it can be overkill for someone in your position where you're going from freelance to agency. I think that like identify where you're stuck, identify the areas that you need, and then learn those 1 or 2 or 3 things. As far as hiring and scaling, like literally the only difference between freelance and agency is you're hiring other people. So find something that you hate doing, or find something that like anybody could do with a little training, and outsource that task. And boom, now you're an agency. Yeah. Ben Burns hot tub screen. Yeah, like I get a hot tub right by one of those inflatable ones. All right, let's go raid A. So for those of you guys on YouTube, you're not gonna be able to follow us. This will be the end of the stream for you guys, but hop over on Twitch, and somebody from the audience, which is amazing, started streaming, or maybe he was streaming before I was. He probably was, because his stream's pretty legit. But he's another designer. His name is AAOA_. But we need to go show him some love. So let's go raid and let him know that we are here. Let me set this up real quick. Okay, I'm gonna start raid. You guys let me know when you're ready. Show the man some love. Throw some emojis in chat. Let's make a big deal out of this. All right. We're going to raid now. We got 31 people out of 44. That's awesome. All right, here we go. See you guys on the next one. I will be streaming next on Tuesday. And for those of you guys on YouTube, I'm probably going to be streaming on the Academy channel on Tuesday, starting Tuesday, to wrap up this project. And we'll go from there. As always, I'll be on Twitch. And thank you guys for joining. See you next time.
Hi Moonraid. Holy shit. What is this? What is this? I didn't even see the emotes. Holy, let's do the emote again. Let's do the emote again. You know, the usual.